We have seen racism around the world during this pandemic. In the US, for example, Asians, particularly Chinese, being attacked, the flu or virus being described as Chinese virus or Wuhan virus, as if viruses have nationality. And we condemn that. Equally, we have to condemn such behavior in Singapore. I have said previously, there has always been racism in Singapore, like in other countries, but we have managed it, and over time, we have sought to reduce it. But it has been stirred up recently. Around the world, economic pressures have led to populism, and the populists have been seeking political profit by exploiting people's fears over jobs and economic insecurity, blaming foreigners, blaming immigrants for all of a country's problems. And in Singapore, we have avoided the worst of such populism, but people are concerned for their jobs, and naturally so. And among Singaporeans, legitimate concerns about foreigners taking over our jobs. And the concern is fair, and the government's duty is to protect Singaporean jobs. But these concerns have been fueled by unacceptable practices, for example, unfair employment practices that favor hiring foreigners and discriminate against our locals. It's a minority who behave like this, but it naturally makes Singaporeans unhappy. And MOM has taken steps to deal with these bad practices. But what has been happening also is parties have been deliberately stoking the fears, encouraging racism and xenophobia, and dog whistling, much like what we have seen in the US. And that is dangerous, and dangerous for Singapore. Because first it will be expat Indians. Then it will come to Singaporean Indians. And anyway, not everyone can distinguish between foreign-born Indians and Singaporean-born Indians. But expression of overt racism is still there only amongst a minority in Singapore. Majority of Singaporeans are decent and not racist. But if we continue to fan the flames of racism, we will get to a more uncomfortable position. There are also websites which deliberately fan racism. They are anti-government, that's perfectly okay, but don't play with race. Comments on these sites, Indians being called cockroaches, rapists, and so on, we should be ashamed that in the name of free speech, we allow such comments. This bad behavior and open expression of racism, I invite all here to condemn.